I wanted to do a really quick video about occipital neuralgia. It's something that I think is not very well addressed by most people, and it's something I think I get really good results with. I'm going to explain my methods pretty quickly, but it's really something that if you're looking for someone, if you're watching this, you probably have occipital neuralgia, or you know someone who does. I wanted to know that it's something that I'm quite comfortable working on, and I think that the solutions we have actually address the problem, whereas a lot of things dance around it. Why is that? Occipital neuralgia, I think what the problem is that it's tissues that are very, very deep. You're looking at essentially the meninges here is one of the primary causes. Meninges, if you look at the skull and you were able to kind of remove the bone from here, what you would see is adhesed to the inside of the bone is a very, very strong connective tissue layer called the dura mater, and it goes around. It encompasses the whole inside of your skull, and it protects the brain. And so it's a very, very strong connective tissue layer, and it adheses to the brain, it adheses at the top of the neck, and it's supposed to go all the way down, and it adheses to the bottom of the spine. There can be problems in a myriad of different types of problems where that tissue is being compromised or tensioned or torqued. And when that happens, a lot of times people will feel that expressed at certain areas where there's a lot of structures attached to it. And one of the very common areas will be at the base of the skull, and it'll feel like almost like the bone itself is tender and painful, and at the very top of the neck. And that could be, usually it'll be one side, and it'll feel almost like a persistent headache that just does not go away, and it's generally tends to be very resistant to treatment. Why is that? Well, most of the treatment will focus on things like the muscles, which are external, meaning deep is the part I talked about, underneath the skull bones. The muscles are close to the surface, so people do things on the skin, like they might use creams or lotion or some sort of soft tissue drainage therapy, or they might put a cream or anything like that that's at the skin. Skin stuff is not going to do it. Some people might do deep muscle work, which might give some semblance of relief for a very brief amount of time, but what it does is it, again, ignores the deeper layers. Some people might do chiropractic adjustments. The chiropractic adjustments that most people do actually aren't deep enough either, even though it's working at the spine level. There's joints that are part of the spine, and then deeper to that are the connections to the meninges that I'm talking about. And plus, the types of chiropractic adjustments that most people do are not specific enough, means they don't find the exact problem and do a particular correction. They do this thing where they twist, and when you twist, you're just sort of rattling things around. It doesn't do the type of correction that needs to be done. For the meninges, there's really a couple types of different, it does look like a chiropractic adjustment, but it's actually a release of the meninges that can be done. And those can be done either a couple different ways. They can be done if it's part of a problem that's within the skull. We actually use a balloon that goes inside the skull, and it's inflated, and it does an adjustment from there. Some people think that sounds crazy, but the people that need it will automatically realize that sounds great. So if that sounds great to you, that might be something that you need. We'll examine you in office and figure that out. The other type of adjustment is actually pulled a separation of the meninges. So you're pulling them apart in a way where it releases the adhesions directly. And then if you need to, you could do chiropractic adjustments on top of that, very specific ones that are geared exactly towards where the corrections need to be done. And then on top of that, you might want to do muscular and all this kind of stuff in that order. So if you've been struggling with occipital neuralgia, you're having a hard time finding, everyone says, oh, I can help that, and they don't really understand the problem, and you're having a hard time finding the right person, I'm hoping that I might be the right person for you. Go ahead and give us a call. I'm not going to do a lot of more talking about it, because it's really something that if you have it, I think I understand it, we should meet.